You know, the government put minimum wage up recently. It's the biggest minimum raise in a decade or whatever they plugged it to be. Does anyone like actually working class who are working the socks off to provide for the family and barely scraping by to pay the bills, do they actually feel any better off? Or has it just been wiped out by more taxes, higher inflation and higher prices at the supermarket? Because we have a number of fish and chip shops, and my wife did a shift in there recently and she said, you won't believe how much people are having to calculate what they can order off the board. They're not just walking in and ordering what they want. They're literally, right, we can get this and get that and we'll half it, and the kids can get this and we'll half that. And she said it was heartbreaking. She said it was really different to when she used to work back in fish shops when she was a lot younger to how it is now. And it's such a sign in the way society is that if minimum wage has been risen to a level that has not been seen for a number of years, people aren't really actually that much better off. I know people say, oh yeah, but it's been cancelled out by high taxes, inflation and all such as that. But you can't raise minimum wage and raise taxes and expect people to be better off, can you? Yeah, I just think if anyone benefits from minimum wage going up, the net beneficiary is the government. Because basically people earn more money, they pay more taxes, the employer pays more national insurance, you have a little bit more money so you spend a little bit more on your shop or you go out for a meal, VAT and such as that, and people earn more money and go over thresholds because they haven't moved a lot of the thresholds, have they? I mean, VAT has been stuck at the same threshold for as long as I've been VAT registered, and you think, if inflation was was it supposed to be 10-11% at some point? How can you keep VAT at the same level? If things are costing, and that's year on year, I don't know, is it 3 point something% at the moment? So VAT should be going up really in line with inflation, 3%. If it's supposed to be 2%, below 2% inflation, it should be 2% every year. They haven't put it up in God knows how long. So you think of all the little cafes who were just like one little woman working in a greasy spoon somewhere, cooking bacon sarnies and fulling loose breakfasts and what have you, now being dragged into the VAT threshold because they've had to put the prices up just to keep the same margin. And that's probably smashing a lot of the small businesses to bits in the UK. And that's why the high street is ruined, because it's only the big chains that can afford to pay VAT or have the tax and the loop thresholds in place where they can alleviate the tax burden on businesses. Whereas the little greasy spoons and people that don't have tax advice can't do that, can they? They're just stuck with a tax bill that's come out of nowhere that they didn't know nothing about, that the accountant probably is just a pen pusher, a bookkeeper, and they have to deal with a massive VAT bill, and that's what shuts the doors of all these little local businesses, and why a lot of the high street is absolutely ruined, and there's loads of places up for let at the minute, and it's a shame.